Hello students, this is Nilesh Kumar, your English teacher. Today we will study Subject Verb Agreement. It is a very important topic of English grammar, you can say. It is a very important chapter of English grammar, you can say. There are some uses of this particular topic, that we will be studying, with the help of a PDF file, So here let's understand it first that, what is Subject Verb Agreement. So first of all, I would like to tell you that Subject Verb Agreement, right? Subject Verb Agreement. It is also known as with the help of syntax, right? And it has one more name that you must know, that is, Subject Verb Concord, right? So this particular topic is known as with these three names. I hope you have got it, right? Now, why do we have to study this particular topic, Subject Verb Agreement? Actually, this particular topic wants to tell you that, there are some subjects, you can say, there must be agreement with the subject and verb, right? I'm just repeating. This particular topic tells you that, we are having different kinds of subjects in English, right? And these subjects must have the agreement, with the verb, right? There must be an agreement with the subject and verb in number and person, right? So that's why we learn this chapter, as sometimes we get some such sentences and subjects. With that, we just get confused that what types of verb, whether singular, whether plural, we have to use. So that's why this particular topic we have to get, and we have to get it very, very well, right? So that in your examination, you could write the answer correctly, right students? Okay, so let's start studying some important points of this particular topic, and then after we will be just understanding the uses of subject verb agreement, with the help of the PDF file, right? Okay, so before that, let's understand it, some important points I'm just going to make you understand, So there is a very simple rule. There is a very simple rule for subject verb agreement. That is what? SS plus SV and PS plus PV. So this is a very simple rule. I am just telling you the meaning of SS and SV, and PS and PV. SS means singular subject, right? Please listen to me carefully and understand well. So SS means singular subjects, right? SS stands for singular subject and SV stands for singular verb, right? PS stands for plural subjects and PV stands for plural verb. So I hope you have got SS and SV, PS and PV. This means in case of singular subjects, you have to go with singular verbs, right? And in case of plural subjects, you have to go with plural verbs. I hope you have got it, right? Now, singular subject and singular verb. So we have to understand about singular verb, right? So one more thing here, we have to tell you that, when we write play, when we write go, when we write, eat, right? When we write do, right? So I have just done here some verbs, right? So in the verbs, main verbs I am just talking about, when we add S and ES, right? What? S and ES. When we add with the verbs, with the main verbs, right? It becomes what? It becomes singular. Always remember students, let me make you understand once again. I have done here some verbs, main verbs, right? So when we add S and ES with the verbs, it becomes what? It becomes singular. This means you can say that a main verb in its simple form means what? First form of the verb always remains in plural number, right? A main verb in its simple form, first form of the verb, always remains in the plural number. And when we add s and es with the main verbs, first form of the verb, only then after it becomes singular. Always keep it in your mind. On the other hand, one more thing I have to tell you, students, that is what? If I write here boy, girl, student, pen, right? So I have done here some nouns. These are nouns, and in these nouns, when we add s and es, it becomes what? Plural. Always remember this. I hope you are just getting my point. What I want to make you understand is, when we add s and es with the verb, it becomes singular. On the other hand, when we add s and es with the nouns, it becomes plural. Always remember this. So ses plus verb, singular. Ses plus nouns, it becomes what? Plural. Right? Now let's take some examples of ss plus sv. Right? ss plus sv. If I write this side, he, right? You can see, I hope, he, and I'm just taking the example of simple present tense, means present indefinite. Ta hai, ti hai. The sentence ends with, right? So he eats. What? Veh khata hai. He eats. So see here, in eat I have added what? S. And if you don't add s with eat in simple present tense, this sentence will become wrong. If you write he eat, this sentence will become wrong. Now you see here, he is what? He is third person in singular number. So SS, the subject is SS. Now just now I told you what? When we add s and es with verb, eat, it becomes what? Singular. So the rule tells you singular subject, singular verb, right? So here I have done singular subject. So with verb I have added s, it has also become singular. So singular subject means what? Singular verb, right? Let's take one more example. If I write here Ram and then goes. Ram goes. So Ram is what? Singular, singular subject, right? And we added what? Es with the verb. So now it became what? It also became singular, singular verb. As just now I taught you that with the verb, when we add s and es, it becomes what? Singular. So singular subject, singular verb, right? I hope you have got it. Now this side I am just taking some examples of ps plus pv. This means plural subject, plural verb, right? So if I write here we, right, and go. We go. We eat. So we is what? PS, plural subject. Now see the verb in its simple form, V1. Just now I told you a verb, a main verb in its simple form, V1 always remains in plural number. So plural subject and plural verb, right? I hope you have got it. Let me take one more example. If I write here we are students. We are students. We are studying English. We have eaten our food, right? Any sentence you can frame. With we is what? Plural subject, and are, you can see, are is a plural verb. Is used for singular, but are is used for plural. So here you can see plural subject and plural verb, right? So I hope you have got singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. Now the matter comes that why do we study subject verb agreement, right? So as I have already told you that there are some particular sentences in which you will have some subjects that will confuse you, right? You will get confused. that what type of verb, whether singular, whether plural, we have to use, right students? So, let me take one more example, I'm just writing here. I hope you can see. I as well as he dash friends. This sentence you have got in your exam. Suppose, right? I as well as he dash friends. I am also giving you two verbs as options. Here I am writing am and is. Two verbs I have done, am and is. One of them you have to fill, right, in the blanks. I as well as he. So here you can see two subjects. One is I, another is he, right? One is what? One is I, another is what? That is he. So immediately those who don't know the rules of subject verb agreement, the students will add here what? Is. As there is he before the blank. And remember students, as soon as you use here is, your sentence will become wrong. Why? As the rule tells you that if the sentence has two subjects, and connected with, as well as, together with, in that sense, right, we have to go with the first subject. We have to go with the first subject. So here the first subject is I. So whether while writing and reading, it will look some awkward, right? Doesn't matter. But we have to go as per the rule, right? So if you write here am, the sentence will look little bit awkward, but doesn't matter. This one is the correct thing. This one is the correct use of the verb, right? So I as well as he am friends. Why am? As the first subject is I, so we have to go according to the first subject. If the first subject is singular, we have to go with singular verb. If the first subject will remain plural, we have to go with plural verbs. Right, students? So this is the reason that in subject verb agreement, we have to study some such strange sentences, while just adding the verbs with such sentences, you will get confused and you will have problem. And most probably, if you don't know and if you have not studied the rules of subject verb agreement, you will surely make mistakes. Right, students? Okay, so now let's understand subject verb agreement, this particular topic, with the help of a PDF file in which I have just written some uses of subject verb agreement. And if you keep all those uses in your minds, you will never ever have problems while using, verbs with any kind of subjects, right? Okay, so let's move to that. Thanks. Yeah, so students, now let's understand agreement of verb with subject, and its uses, that I have just prepared for you, right? So, as I have already taught you on the board that SS plus SV, PS plus PV, this means singular subject plus singular verb you have to go with, and plural subject plus plural verb you have to go with, right? Okay, now something more here I have done, that is what? A verb must agree with its subject in number and person. That is just the definition of subject verb agreement, right? So here I have done, a verb must agree with its subject in number and person. A singular subject requires a singular verb and a plural subject requires a plural form of verb, right? Okay. Now let's understand its uses. The first use tells you two or more singular subjects, right? What, students? Two or more singular subjects joined by and take a plural verb. This means we use what? Plural verb. Like you can see here, Atul and Amit. Two subjects and joined with and. What we have used? Plural verb we have used, right? The next example tells you that he and I. So here two, here too we are having two subjects. One is he, another is I. right? And joined with and. And you can see here I have done plural verb, that is are, right? So the rule tells you two or more singular subjects joined by and, we have to add what? Plural verb. Clear, students? Okay, let's understand its note. Its note tells you what? My friend and guide has come. The poet and philosopher has come, right? So students, in the first sentence you can see friend and guide both are the one person, you can say, right? In the second sentence, poet and philosopher, here too both the subjects are the similar persons, right? Here two subjects refer to what? Same person or thing. Clear? That's why verb we have to use in singular number. So I have done here has, even here I have done has, right? But the poet and the philosopher have come, right? Here we are just talking about two different subjects, and it is very easy to recognize if you get, if you get articles with each subject, as I have done here, the poet, you can see, again the philosopher. But in this example you can see I have done once the poet, but not the philosopher. Here I have not written the. You have to understand that there is only one person, that is poet and philosopher both. But here you can see the poet and the philosopher. This means here we are just talking about two persons. The first one is poet and another one is philosopher, right? So in this case we have to go with plural verb, as I have done here have, right students? Okay, now let's move to the next rule, that is what? When two subjects represent one idea, the verb is in the singular number. Like rice and curry is my favorite dish. Bread and butter, such words are always used together. If we say rice and curry, bread and butter, horse and carriers, whiskey and soda, right? Is a rich food. So we have to go with singular verb, as you can see here, right? But here one more thing I have to make you understand, students, that is what? That you have to understand as exception. Time and tide wait for none. It is, this sentence is an exception, you can say, right? So here we don't have to go with waits. So you have to just keep this sentence as the exception, and you have to go with plural verb with time and tide. Always just keep it in your mind, right students? Okay, now let's move to the next rule, that is if two singular nouns joined by and are preceded by or every each or every, the verb is in singular. Like each boy and girl makes, that is singular verb. Each boy and girl makes a separate report, right? The next example tells you every man and woman works, that is what? S with the verb. Again here S with the verb. So this has been used as singular verbs. Okay, let's move to the next rule, that is what? If the subject is as well as, one of the example of as well as I had just made you understand on the board. So as well as, along with, together with, and not, but, with, then verb will be used as per the first subject. So let's understand it with the help of the examples. The store in addition to the farm. The store in addition to the farm, right, was sold. So the store I have underlined. So here verb has been used as per the first subject. The next example tells you he as well as his children. Remember I have not used here are, as there is children, you will think that we have to use here are, but that will become wrong, as the rule tells you that you have to go with according to the first subject. So first subject is he, so you have to go with as per the first subject, right? So here I have done is. Clear? Next example tells you, he and not I. So here I have done what? Has, as per the first subject. Done it. Right? He along with, see here, along with. So here two subjects, first is he, along with, and then his friends. Friends, but here I have done is. Why? As per the first subject he. He along with his friends is coming today. Right, students? So remember the uses, that with what types of subjects we have to go with what types of verbs, right? Okay, now let's move to the next rule and next use, that tells you, if two or more subjects are separated with or, nor, either or, neither nor, then the verb will be used according to its nearest subject. This means where you will find or and where you will find nor. As in either or you will find what? Or. And in neither nor you will find what? Nor. So the subjects which will be near or nor, you have to go according to that subject. Either Ram or his friends. So you can see or, and then you can see friends. So here friends you can see plural, so we have to go with plural verb are, right? The next example tells you either you or he. So he is nearest, so we have to go with he is, right? Either you or he is guilty, right, students? Okay, next, neither he nor. So see here, nor. Here I have done I, so I have used what? Am. Neither he nor I am guilty, right? The last one tells you Jack or. So here or, so his brothers, so brothers are plural, that's why are. Now let's move to the next use, that is, with mathematical computation, either a singular or a plural verb can be used, like 4 and 4 are, 2 and 2 makes. This means 4 and 4 is 8. You can also write 4 and 4 are, that is also right. 2 and 2 make 4, and 2 and 2 makes 4. Right? This means you can go with either plural or singular, right? But remember, in your competitive exams, suppose if you get singular and plural both verbs, then always remember you have to go with singular verb. In case of two options, singular and plural both, right, you have to go with singular verb, right? Okay, now let's move to the next use, that is, if the subject is anybody, anyone, each, either, neither, nobody, no one, somebody, someone, then singular verb is used. As you can see here, each of them has a pen. Nobody denies the fact. Everybody was present in the meeting, right, students? Always keep these subjects in your mind, and with these subjects you have to go with singular verb, right? Okay, now let's move to the next use, that is, when the subject is a relative pronoun, the verb agrees with the antecedent of that pronoun, right? Antecedent, the correct meaning of antecedent, students, you will not be able to find in the dictionary, but this means the nearest subject, nearest noun or pronoun. Antecedent means what? The subject, the noun and pronoun which is nearest to it, right? Okay, as he is one of the men, I have underlined who. So who is relative and its antecedent is men, right? Act, so men is plural, so act is also plural verb, right? So he is one of the men who act as advisors, right? The next one tells you this is one of those problems, and which is what? That is relative pronoun. So this is Antecedent, problems is here antecedent. So problems plural, so that's why we have used here have, right? I hope you have got it. Now let's move to the second last rule or use that tells you a collective noun when considered as a unit, singular verb is used, but when the members of the class are considered individually, right, plural verb is used, right? As the jury is finally complete. This means here it has been used as a unit, as a unit. But when you consider the second one, the jury were divided in their opinion. This means each one will just, give his or her opinion. So that's why here what we have used? We have used plural, right? The jury were, right? Okay. The last rule tells you students that if the subject denotes any certain distance, time, quantity, price, and weight, then even it remains in plural number, we have to use singular verb, right students? Okay, let's understand its examples. 40 miles, 40 miles, when we speak out, it seems plural, but here I have done what? Is what? That is singular verb. 10 rupees, so 10 rupees, when we speak out or write, it seems plural, but here I have done what? Was. Next is 10 hours. This means what? Plural. It seems plural, but we have to go with is. Right? The last one tells you 5 tons of coal. 5 tons of coal. Again, here I have done is. That is singular verb. So remember, in case of certain distance, time, quantity, price, and weight, even it seems plural, we have to go with singular verb. Always remember this. So students, just go through each rule and just set the uses in your mind, and you will be able to understand this particular topic, subject verb agreement, very well, and you will be able to write correctly in your exams. Okay, thanks students.